The U.S. Probation and Pretrial Services Office for the District of Hawaii provides continuity of services throughout the judicial process, from the time a defendant has been arrested for a federal offense through their release from imprisonment. U.S. probation officers investigate and supervise individuals charged with or convicted of federal offenses. These officers serve as the eyes and ears of the federal court to faithfully serve the judges and to promote community safety while being proactive with rehabilitation efforts. We collaborate with stakeholders and help individuals to successfully reintegrate into the community. Aloha, my name is Jonathan Skadelski. I'm the Chief U.S. Probation Officer for the District of Hawaii. Hawaii is unique, not just for the beauty of the islands, but the people living here, where there's a strong connection to the community and just connection with everyone. That's what makes Hawaii so unique. It's my home. Why not make your home the best place to live, not only for today, but the future generations that live here? We see generations of people come through the door, criminal justice system, and we need to break that cycle. We serve the court, we protect the community, we help people change their lives. We meet our mission through the remarkable efforts of our officers and staff.
With pretrial services, we're essentially the front door to the federal court system. When somebody is arrested and charged for a federal offense, we're going to be their first stop. For a lot of people, it can be a pretty traumatic event if they've never been involved in something like this before. I think it's important for us as officers to show them that they're going to be treated with dignity and respect throughout this process. When they come, they'll either be arrested or they'll come through summons. If they're arrested by federal agents, then we'll go down and interview them at the U.S. Marshal's cell block. One of the bigger parts of our job is to collect, verify, and then report information to the court so that the court has ample information to make an informed decision on whether they should release this person on bond or whether they should be held in detention pending their trial. Protecting the community is a major emphasis of our job, and we utilize those conditions, those restrictive conditions of pretrial release to help us enforce that. Well, whether it be through monitoring their drug use, making sure they're linked with drug treatment or mental health treatment, monitoring their movement in the community, making sure they're not going to places where they're not supposed to be or contacting people involved in the cases that they're not supposed to contact.
My name is Wes Reber Porter. I'm a United States Magistrate Judge in the District of Hawai'i. As a judiciary, we work extensively with United States Pretrial, and specifically as a magistrate judge, I work with United States Pretrial often at the inception of a criminal case. When a criminal case comes in, they make some of their initial appearances, arraignments, introductory preliminary hearings before the court. And as part of that, we make release or detention determinations. U.S. Pretrial is the entity of the court, the arm of the court, that assists the court with that determination. Essentially, they look into everything about the defendant that is now in court. They look into the background, they look into the offense conduct, and they interview family members. They work extensively with the defendant and with defense counsel to try to work on a release plan consistent with the statute. With our particular United States Pretrial Services Office, we are actually thinking about their recommendations or their release plan, as this is coming from professionals that have done this for a long time. We give great weight to those recommendations to the court, whether it's a recommendation to detain because we can't find release conditions at that time, or whether it's a release plan with a few moving parts. That comes to the court in the form of a pretrial services report. And with our office, with a high quality office like we have in the District of Hawaii, we give great deference to that report and try to do all we can consistent with the statute to find a release plan for each defendant.
Once a defendant is convicted of a federal offense, either by pleading guilty or by being found guilty at trial, they would be referred by the court to our office to conduct a pre-sentence investigation and to write a comprehensive report. The pre-sentence report is going to be used by the court to determine what's an appropriate sentence for that defendant, but it also has many other purposes. It's used by the Bureau of Prisons to determine facility placement and programming, and it's used by our post-conviction supervision officers to assist them with supervising the defendant after they're released from any imprisonment sentence.
The information that the probation officer gathers and confirms. It's not an opinion, it's not a supposition, but it's real information that the probation officer has investigated and provided to me. In addition, I may call the probation officer or may have him or her come to my chambers and talk about particular issues. So there's not just factual information that the probation officer will provide, such as past criminal record or the facts of the offense to which the person's either pled guilty or been convicted, but also the probation officer provides me with tremendous information having to do with the applicable case law, that is legal cases, as well as an extensive knowledge of the sentencing guidelines. When the people that I sentence are released from their period of incarceration, they return back to our district, and then they begin a period of what's called supervised release. And this really is a period of time where probation has such an important role in assisting these individuals, really being an arm of the court in making sure that these people have opportunities to re-enter our community and to hopefully develop successful lives.
Being a probation officer is an extremely important job. We first start working with our clients prior to them getting out of custody, and it's really the pre-release planning phase where we work with families and try to get them set up prior to them coming out into the community. Once they're in the community, we work very closely with them to set up any sort of referrals to outside treatment agencies. We work with their families again. We conduct home contacts, and we see them quite often. Being a post-conviction supervision officer is one of the biggest responsibilities, and it's an amazing opportunity to make real differences in their lives by pulling out their strengths and their hopes and making sure that they find a successful path to the next chapter of their lives.
What I like about this job is that it's never the same each day, and each year I've been here, there have just been numerous opportunities to grow as an officer through training or through taking on additional responsibilities or to performing a different job function. So I think that an officer will never get bored or complacent in this job because there's always so many opportunities. Part of the training we receive at FLETC and in district is officer safety training. And that includes strikes, jabs, things of that nature, all the way through ground defense, incorporating firearms retention and various techniques incorporating the use of the firearm.
We have a lot of people that make this a career for the rest of their life, and it's a life calling for a lot of us, including myself. And the judges see it in our work. The clients that we supervise see it. They'll know. They know if you're not genuinely engaged with them. And so the people we want to work here have to know this is a life calling. This is something not just for a paycheck, but to really just make a difference in, even if it's one person's life, but hopefully the community as a whole.
I have to say, we have probation officers with all sorts of skills, but I think what's in common is that they all possess a sense of courage and a commitment to our community. By that I mean they are not afraid of being in situations where they can work with all kinds of people. People with tremendous education, they come through our doors and they're monitored on supervised release by probation. People who have had no education or advantage in life, they come through our doors and need to be on supervised release. So I see our probation officers as people with tremendous heart, courage, and the ability to connect with others, but also wanting to make sure our community is safe.
Our office looks for officers who are compassionate and empathetic because that is the core of what we do. We want to help people succeed and change their old ways. We also look for officers who are team players because we can't accomplish our mission without working together.
I have a background in social work. I also have a criminal justice degree, and to me, being a probation officer is the perfect blend of both. And in this office, we have so many different people. We have lawyers, we have former teachers, we have a former spa director. I mean, we have so many different people in this office, and that's what makes it very special.
I think the ideal person to be a pre-sentence writer is someone who is analytical and curious by nature, someone who likes to investigate things and is good at researching and writing. And while it helps to have a legal background because we're having to deal with objections to our pre-sentence reports and doing that type of legal writing and research, you don't have to be an attorney to succeed in this job.
I think there's a misunderstanding what we're about and our mission. But if I could wave a wand, I would want to put ourselves out of business. That you wouldn't need a probation pretrial services office because there wouldn't be any crime in the state of Hawaii. I know that's an ambitious goal, but that's what we strive for. And people that come here that change people's lives are hoping people just never come back to the system. And so, although that is an ambitious goal, it is something we continue to strive for. We hope you found this video educational and inspirational. To learn more information, please visit our website. Aloha and ahoiho.